Hi guys, how is it going? Welcome to your 2025 horoscopes for the month of August. And August is gonna be packed with surprises because we're about to see a full moon in Aquarius. And we're also gonna see a new moon at 0 degrees of Virgo that's gonna square Uranus as well. So that new moon is going to be part of yacht at a critical degree. The full moon in Uranus, makes some interesting aspects as well. So, on top of that, we're going to have two malefics in an opposition towards each other. So, Mars and Saturn will be creating a tug of war in the sky. So, whenever the two malefics join each other, it can be a time that can feel rather draining and can be, temporarily full with obstacles. But on the positive side, we're going to see a Jupiter-Venus conjunction in the sign of Cancer, and Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So that is going to, I guess, lessen the more critical tension of all the other aspects that we're about to witness. So normally Venus, Jupiter together are very, very beneficial, very abundant, very happy, indulgent times. And luckily, we're going to see that happening this month as well. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Astrid. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, thank you for joining. I also offer personal astrology sessions. You'll find the link for that in the description box below. So thank you all so much for joining. And hey, Jax, good morning. Here it's 3:30 in the afternoon. And hey, Jana, thank you so much for joining. Okay, let's roll. So let's look at the overview for the month of August. So the first important part is that we're going to see a Mars shifting from the sign of Virgo into the sign of Libra. And I don't know how you are doing, guys, because Mars conjunct the South Node in Virgo combined with a Mercury retrograde in the sign of Leo. Mars is dispositing Mercury. It's all this going inward, all this reflection. And Mars conjunct the South Node for me personally has been very, very draining. Like, a lot of people are telling me that they're very, very tired. And it's not only the Mercury retrograde. I think particularly it is the Mars conjunct the South Node. So luckily, Mars is going to shift out of Virgo soon, so that is positive for all the mutable signs. But of course, Libra is the sign of balance, justice, peace, and Mars, of course, is the planet of action, conflict, desire, but also war. So there's going to be a collective tone that is going to be shifting from the practical problem-solving energy of Virgo to the more fair negotiation, balance qualities of Libra. And don't forget, guys, Mars is going to be in detriment in Libra, meaning that the assertive nature is going to get a little bit challenged. So it's going to be action through diplomacy, action through strategy, and also fighting for balance and justice. So, fairness and justice are going to become part of the fight. And I think that is going to be very, very obvious because it's going to happen at the world axis point. So the whole world and the whole collective will be implicated by this. But on a more personal level, Mars and Libra is going to highlight the need to assert oneself in relationships while being able to maintain the balance. So, it actually encourages us to bring action towards more harmony, but it can also bring up this passive aggressive tendencies or people-pleasing behavior patterns are going to get exposed as well, especially if you're going to try to avoid conflict. So, the lesson here is that assertiveness doesn't have to be aggressive. It can be very persuasive, it can be very elegant, and it can also be very graceful and fair and even charming. So, there's so much happening in the first week. 2 days later, on August the 8th, we're going to see the two malefics in an opposition to each other. So, on On August the 8th, Mars in Libra is going to oppose both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and it's actually going to form a very deeply conflicted opposition. Mars and Saturn, they are the two malefics, and when they are in opposition, there is tension between desire and restriction, between action and consequence, and also between aggression and these limited structures in life. And whenever Neptune gets involved as well, the waters are like extremely muddy, very elusive, can be about propaganda, ideals, illusions, and the collective myths that really, the myth in collective that really gets fueled by, and the fire gets fueled with these two involved. So can also be about ongoing crisis in areas like Ukraine, Russia, also Israel, Iran. It's always about military action, and also, it's about repression of certain nations. And if you look back at historic cycles, we always see whenever Mars and Saturn are in a combination with each other, that there are always conversations coming up around nuclear escalation, around this ideological warfare, and also about the authoritarian measures that actually are being masked by justice, of like all these authoritarian measures that are being masked as justice. That's what we're seeing with Saturn and Neptune on top of each other in the sign of Aries. It's a sign of leadership. And Mars, the ruler of Aries, is going to oppose that right now. So Mars in Libra, it wants diplomacy, but Saturn in Aries really demands self-interest and control, and Neptune is going to cloud all the intentions. It's going to be very, very hard to discern what is real and what is not. It's going to lead to collective confusion, and actions can really backfire due to a lack of clarity or honesty, and that can also happen in our personal lives. So it's really a period of testing the limits, and there can be tensions in court, there can be tensions in global leadership, also these institutional systems where ideals and realities come to a head, and things will get exposed by that. So on a more personal level, it can be a very tense and frustrating transit. It can stir up some anger, some setbacks, can also really trigger emotional exhaustion. So some are going to feel blocked by authority figures. Some of us are going to feel blocked by these obligations, and the anger builds beneath the surface, often with nowhere to go because Saturn limits that. So be careful of burnout, self-sabotage, these feelings of inadequacy as well. It is a moment that we will all need to remind ourselves that we are running a marathon and not a sprint. And we will need to treat ourselves with compassion instead of blame. That is very, very important. We need to be constructive. We need to be patient. Mars needs safe physical release. So go for a long walk, do some exercises, and avoid repressing your feelings, because they're going to linger in your body, and then the tension becomes illness. So you need to channel this hot burning energy into focused work. And it's not about winning a fight. It's actually about mastering your own energy. So during this time, very important to sharpen your knives, but don't use them. So that is very, very important. And I'm going to quickly look at the comments. Hey, Stain. Hey, Sparkle and Grit. And Mem Jack says, Mars in Virgo here. And yes, it's been very draining here too, sending strength and love. Oh, especially if you are born with a natal Mars in Virgo, that must be a lot. And Jana says, I think August 8th is going to explode. Yes, and that is what I'm going to highlight right now with the kite pattern on the world axis that we are about to see on August 9, which is very, very, very important and very, very rare. Like all the planets are making aspects towards each other around that time. So luckily, we have a Venus-Jupiter conjunction that are hopefully going to lessen some of the negative things, because kite patterns, they can go up and go off, but they can come crashing down. And Mars and Saturn is involved, so I think we all know what's about to happen. So On August the 8th, the Kite Pattern, very, very important because it involves Pluto and Aquarius, it involves Uranus and Gemini, Saturn and Neptune and Aries, and also the Mars-Saturn opposition and Mars and Libra. So I'm gonna quickly, I've included it in the presentation. Here you can see it. This is like rare, guys, because 0 degrees of Aries and 0 degrees of Libra, it is the world axis. And like now it's on 1 degrees, but on August the 8th, Mars is at 0 degrees. Neptune and Saturn is about to shift to 0 degrees of Aries as well, because Saturn is going retrograde. So this is going to set off one big global escalation. So how do I explain it? In like not trying to scare anyone, but Mars-Saturn oppositions is really, in the past they have always triggered escalations in war zones, in nuclear threats, in confrontations around global justice and power. And Mars and Saturn, they are the two malefics. They are force and restriction bound into one aspect now. So when they oppose each other in such a public, high-stakes signs like these on the world axis, the results are rarely subtle. Like we have seen during the last square between Mars and Saturn that Iran launched a direct missile strike on Israel, and yeah. The escalation involved one of the world's nuclear powers and nations, Iran. So around the same time, the world also watched in disbelief as a nuclear power plant in Ukraine that was occupied by Russia was attacked as well. So there are always reviving fears of this environmental fallout and wartime radiation catastrophe. So, and all of these, they were not isolated incidents. They echo a larger Mars-Saturn cycle that seems to be tied to aggression control, nuclear instability, and it's like one big volatile loop. And now we're going to see the opposition. So the same themes might return, but under a much more amplified and coordinated cosmic pressure, because it's part of a kite pattern. So we know that Putin has recently revised Russia's nuclear doctrine, so tension surrounding that and an escalation in that is possible. And also, yeah, there will be this global theme of this territorial defense and like it all getting sharpened globally. So the involvement of the kite, it is Pluto, power, Neptune, ideology. Neptune is also fog and deception. Uranus is disruption. So the kite really suggests that any military action, propaganda, cyber attack with Uranus could have actually devastating rippling effects over the entire globe. And then August 9 is accompanied by a full moon in Aquarius. It is the sign of the collective consciousness and also technology. And it's like adding another layer of tension around AI warfare and infrastructure sabotage and also global systems that get under some tension and strain. So I hope we do not see an attack on some nuclear site. I hope we do not see a radiological incident or some false flag event around this time. But astrologically speaking, the risk is actually high. So if you have been tracking this cycle, then you know that these themes do repeat. And this time with the kite formation energy on the world axis, the consequences could actually be quite historic, if you ask me. And Mem Jack says, I don't scare easy. I appreciate your honesty and forthrightness. Thank you so much. It's just a heads up. If it happens, it's also part of the natural cycles in the sky. And Stain says, how to explain? Don't ask me, Esther. I'm looking at you for answers. Like, guys, I do not have all the answers. I can only look at the current energy that is affecting each and every one of us. But yeah, when I look at this is so rare. This could be like a historic turning point. And Jana says, I feel volcano burst, Mars out of the ocean, Neptune, and dead people, Saturn. Well, what you're saying right now could be an indication of something like that could affect the entire globe, especially if you look at the earthquake in Russia that we just saw. And especially Neptune and Saturn are together very close to only 1 degree away. They will exactly conjunct on March the 20th, 2026. And Neptune can be fog, steam on the world axis, so global effects. Saturn can be new structures being created out of the sea. Neptune, so yeah, and with the full moon in Aquarius the day after, it is about the tectonic plates. It is about seismic activity. It is about volcanoes. So yeah, something might be triggered by that. So yeah. So let's look at the full moon in Aquarius that is accompanied in the same first 10 days where all of this is happening in August. So the full moon in Aquarius is on August the 9th, and it occurs at 16 degrees of Aquarius, and 16 degrees is a Cancer degree. It is associated with protection and the tension between safety and exposure. And Aquarius can be very, very sudden, very surprising. So yeah, it actually is going to bring also personal surprises and personal vulnerability in the public light, especially when it's activated by a full moon. So yeah, this donation is going to crack open the heart of the collective disillusionment. It's going to expose raw truths about how we live together, how we are actually disconnected from each other because of AI, because of technology, and also how that's related to the larger systems in life as well. The Sabian symbolism for this full moon is 17 degrees of Aquarius, and that gives us a watchdog stands guard protecting his master and his possession. So the Sabian symbol, it speaks to issues of surveillance, loyalty, protection, control, and it's actually raising these questions about who is guarding whom and what we're really trying to defend as all these old structures actually begin to erode during this time. So, of course, this is going to be the first full moon in Aquarius with Uranus, Aquarius modern ruler, now in Gemini. So that is really marking the start of a totally new cycle of the collective cognition, also the technological awakening. Uranus in Gemini is currently electrifying all of our mind. It is like a big rewiring, a big update. This also having an effect on the mainstream media. That's actually that. It has an effect on how we message each other, and the full moon is going to reflect all of that in full force. So, and yeah, of course, and with this ongoing kite configuration where Mars and Saturn are opposing, and Neptune and Pluto and Uranus all form a supportive grand trine, the energy is very, radical tension, but there's also on a personal level this brilliant potential that we can tap into right now. So under the sky, the guardianship really becomes a collective team. Like, are we protecting each other, or are we merely defending systems of power that we no longer believe in? Themes about the digital privacy, state control, AI surveillance, and also, yeah, all these things are gonna flare up under the full moon here. And personally, there can be a confrontation between your ideals and also your instincts. Actions must be measured, must be strategic, and also grounded in integrity. Your Aquarius urges us to break free from roles, from relationships, from patterns that actually stifle our individuality. And the moon highlights where we've been confronting and inviting us to actually reclaim our unique voice, even if it means going against the grain. So Aquarius, it's about revolution, about standing up, about speaking up, about thinking outside of the box, about being the weirdo and being okay with that. And I think we're going to see massive protests happening during this time. So, of course, Aquarius and Uranus, there are going to be massive surprises in regards to AI, especially with Uranus and Gemini. And I think Palantir is going to become gonna come up big time, and yeah, something is going to be announced in regards to implementing AI into schools, into the young children, even replacing tutors. And the next new moon in Virgo, which is going to be the first of two new moons in Virgo, which is rather special. In September, we're going to see massive protests about all these AI and all these new technologies getting implemented in high school and all of that. So, but I'm gonna talk more about it with the new moon. So, to continue, Mercury is going to go direct on the 11th of August. So, yeah, I've seen so many people having their Coldplay moment in the last few weeks, like the eagles roaring, selfishness, arrogance. I hate to highlight the more negative traits of Leo, but I've seen people really like making a fool of themselves more than once. So, luckily, it's gonna station direct on the 11th of August, and yeah, like the Mars and Saturn opposition and the full moon in Aquarius, it's gonna like shatter all of these collective illusions, and it's gonna expose all these fractures and ideologies. So Mercury and Leo direct now asks us, what story are you telling yourself now that you know more about everything? Leo is a sign of personal authority, courage. So yeah, it encourages us to really own our own message, speak from the heart, and actually rewrite the script, and it's going to affect how we express ourselves in a more Leo way, or in a bigger Leo way. So, and especially if your mind and communication has been distorted by fear, by propaganda, and by group mentality, something's gonna change, and you need to like reclaim your voice. Speak boldly, and also don't forget that Mercury will be in its shadow phase until August the 26th. So final clarity about all the themes that you had to revise during the Mercury retrograde still might take some time until the end of August. So yeah, inspire others with the story only you can tell from your heart. That is like the big message here. Then on August the 17th, oh wait, I'm forgetting something. On August the 11th, so on the same day that Mercury turns direct in Leo, we're going to see something very, very beneficial happening. Venus is going to conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, and Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So actually very, very positive. Venus and Jupiter are the two benefics. Luckily, they're in conjunction, while we saw a couple of days before the two malefics in opposition. So they're going to calm things down, luckily. And actually, this is one of the best conjunctions of the entire year. Too bad it's tied in with other dramatic aspects that are happening at the same time. Otherwise, that would be party, fun, and like very, very expansive. So think about blessings, abundance, nourishing, very emotional, expansive. Together, they bring grace, abundance, love, generosity. And because they're in Cancer, there is a big emphasis on emotional safety, on your family, on your heritage, on the sacred feminine energy as well, on the bloodline, on your ancestral lineage. So yeah, so especially after all these intense confrontations with the Mars, Saturn, Neptune opposition, and the full moon in Aquarius, that is going to give us some surprises. This is a reminder that not all growth comes from being under fire. Some growth also comes from your roots. It comes from tenderness and emotional care and self-love as well. And hopefully we're going to see some diplomatic healing as well. And also, yeah, it favors peace negotiations. And at the end of the month, Uranus and Neptune are going to make a sextile, and that also favors peace negotiations. So hopefully at the end of the month, things will start to calm down a bit more. So yeah, go have a date. Declare your love. If you love someone, you can have an amazing time. Just be a little bit careful about overindulgence. But I'm going to make a whole separate video about Venus, Jupiter, to put some more light on the positive things that are happening as well. Just know that Venus and Jupiter in Cancer really are going to open the door to emotional renewal and soulful abundance. So connect with your family, nurture your home space, invest in emotional and financial security. So can be a very good day for love, money, for feeling protective over someone, wanting to care, feeling very, very loved, or wanting to love someone as well. So very, very soft, very fertile space to begin again, depending on where your Aries house is located in your chart. So Then on August the 17th, we're gonna have something very important happening again. Saturn is gonna cross over, Saturn is going retrograde, so it's going to cross over into 0 degrees of Aries, and that is the world axis, and that's going to happen on August 17th. So, yeah, it's actually a very profound collective reflection point, because the world axis, it corresponds with 0 degree of all the cardinal signs, which are, of course, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. They symbolize global triggers and events of international consequence. So Aries is about the initiation of new cycles of action, leadership, and also military movement. So we're going to see a renewal in that, or something from the past that's being corrected. Saturn, it is the planet of structure, boundaries, karma, responsibility. And when it crosses this point, it really brings a very big global realities check. It might actually feel like the world is collectively sobering up. It is forced to confront the limitations, also the consequences in regards to failures in leadership, and it's not just a personal reset. Not just if you have planets around 0 degrees of the cardinal signs. This is actually a big cosmic moment of reassessment for the entire world order, actually. So what unfolds in early August could actually have ripple effects that are going to culminate in the spring of 2026, when Saturn is going to return to this degree and will conjunct Neptune exactly. Yeah, it's going to be a big collapse of structure, big collapse of power, and things that are happening now are going to see an ending in February, March 2026. So yeah, it's like, remember how many people were so happy that Donald Trump won in October, November of 2025. I think now a lot of people are waking up to the truth, to what he's doing with Sam Altman, what he's doing with, yeah, I actually could go on and on, but I think it's pretty obvious now, even RFK with his wearables, that they're going to start to track all the health of all the Americans to make them healthy again. But it's just like one big sellout to big tech companies, let's be honest. And I think a lot of people who were cheering back in the fall of 2024 are now like, oh shit, what's happening? And I think this is part of the collective awakening that we're about to see, and that will further unfold now during the middle of August. And I'm not saying he's not doing good things as well. There are pros and cons to each and every person of the entire world, but I think it's very, very obvious that they misled the public, and that now people are starting to see the truth. And I think that will be further indicated in the middle of August. So then on August the 22nd, we are going to enter Virgo season. So the sun is going to leave the bold, expressive sign of Leo, and it's going to enter the analytical, earthy Virgo, and that is the start of Virgo season. So yeah, after the emotionally intense first 2 weeks of August, the sun is going to shift to another sign, and Virgo is going to offer us a chance to clean up, to recalibrate, to restore our order, because Virgo is the sign of the healer, the analyst, the servant, the integrator, and the sun moves when it moves into this mutable earth sign. It is turning our attention to what is practical, what is sustainable, what is useful. And we need to focus now on discernment, especially in our daily routine and our health, and doing the things that needs to be done, even if it's not very glamorous. Leo is glamorous. Virgo is like, okay, I'm going to put on my schort. How do you say schort? I'm going to put on my dirty clothes, and I'm going to just like do the dishes, vacuum the floor, like just do the things that we need to do, even if we don't really want to. So this is like a big transition from like, real world it's a big transition towards real world problem solving. Also, critical thinking belongs to Virgo, and especially after this period of high drama, political confusion, and then these global escalations and tensions that we are about to witness in the first half of August. There is now in Virgo season an increased focus on healthcare systems, how our food is being created, the rights of labor people in the service industry as well. And yeah, Virgo governs the systems of life that keep running, that are about cleaning up, about being efficient as well. So the season always encourages accountability, productivity, clarity, and it will be a welcome contrast to the fog of Neptune and the heat of Leo. Virgo really reminds us that healing isn't just emotional, it can also be practical. Like if you're overthinking and you just start cleaning out your closet or mopping the floors, that is actually healing in itself, because you stop overthinking. Your floor is clean, and like tomorrow is another day. That is like Virgo, just getting yourself up again, even if it is difficult. So yeah, it's like just remember that like every small act of service is actually part of a greater repair of the world. If you get your shit together, then you can help others do the same. That is like also what the Virgo is saying. But Virgo also tends to like be too freaky about cleaning up after others' mess. Be careful, do not fall into that trap. People need to clean up their own mess. So it's also going to be a time that we need to ground the insights that we've just recently received about the full moon in Aquarius, and the Mercury retrograde as well. So where have you felt scattered? What needs to be refined? What needs to be cleaned? What needs to be repaired? Virgo is going to support everything from decluttering to tightening up your daily routines, to also committing to a new physical healing routine that is going to benefit your well-being. So also know, Virgo, it offers service to others, not as martyrdom, but as a sacred expression of intelligence and care, and being accountable. That is what Virgo is about as well. So yeah, sort through all the noise, because Virgo tends to put an overemphasis on the little details, and you need to get to what truly matters and clean up first. So setting your priorities straight is also Virgo. Thank you so much, guys, for all the comments. You guys are on fire today. So with that being said, we're gonna look at the new moon in Virgo, because of course it's gonna implicate all the threads that I've just mentioned. So on August the 23rd, new moon in Virgo at 0 degrees, very potent portal. 0 degrees is a portal, very potent. It has this infinite amount of energy that can manifest. So yeah, and it's going to be the first of 2 new moons in Virgo this year. It's a very rare phenomenon, and it's really telling us that we are entering a powerful portal of purification and renewal. And thank you so much, Arno. Thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you so much for joining. Astrid, her clothes are like my orange calcite in front of me, and it's a beautiful crystal. How are you, Astrid? Well, where is my crystal? Oh, my orange crystal is there. Otherwise, I would like grab it and show it to you, because I have like citrine with a bit of orange in it as well. So yeah. How am I doing? Actually, not too well. I'm taking antibiotics. I am taking painkillers. I am sweating my ass off. My teeth are still not okay. So I'm going to be so happy whenever Mars is going to leave Virgo, because the doctors told me that maybe I'm going to lose one teeth in the back of my mouth. So I am praying that that will not happen. So so over this Mars in Virgo, so over this Mercury retrograde. I am drained. I'm battling burnout. So thank you so much, Arno, for the support. I really had to like get my shit together and be do this today and be like ready for everything I'm telling you guys. So thank you so much, Arno. And Jana says, 0 is a new beginning, Uranus, Gemini, 22 degrees, crossroads, doubts, which path should I take? Jana, you have a moon at the end degrees of Pisces. You just need to close your eyes and ask your spirit guides. You know which road to take, Jana, and I've already told you. But thank you for sharing that with us. So, okay, let's get back at the new moon, because let's not forget that this new moon is going to build up towards lunar eclipse in Pisces that we're going to see on September the 7th. So, and on September the 21st, we're going to see a solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo. So the two new moons in Virgo are going to be at critical degrees. First one is 0. The second one in September is a solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo, which is an energetic degree, very, very critical. So this is going to have the story of breakdown, exposure, reconstruction, especially in the health sector and the service industry and the labor, people in labor, and also systemic restructures. The new moon, it brings the initial moment of intention, and you can look at this new moon and especially the solar eclipse as well as like a scalpel cutting, like cleaning and cutting into old routines and old wounds and old systematic dysfunctions to finally begin the healing process. And like, watch my words, guys, starting from the end of August all the way up until October, November, a lot of things from medical procedures are going to get exposed, because this one is also going to trigger the eclipse that we had on March the 14th earlier this year. And it's actually signifying global tensions around labor strikes, healthcare, the safety of our water. Be careful for water contamination, food contamination. So it's actually, it's also going to echo chronic illnesses and world leaders, can be about pandemic triggers, can be about contaminated environments, because Neptune is going to go back to 29 degrees of Pisces in the fall for the Northern Hemisphere. So that is about toxins being amplified, can be about pollutants, can be about hidden pathogens as well. So all these themes remain highly, highly relevant right now. And the new moon here and in September, the solar eclipse, it's going to reopen the conversation about that. And it's actually it's going to be the moment to respond to crises that also came up in March. And it's about maybe policy changes around health, maybe health benefits that are going to fall away. Can be about massive layoffs due to AI, especially with the new moon, full moon in Aquarius that we're going to see 2 weeks earlier. And I think in the beginning of August with the full moon in Aquarius, it's going to be pretty obvious that a lot of people are going to lose their job in the next 15 years. And I think people are going to have a wake-up call and a shock and some awakening and truth about that. And then Virgo is the workspace or the workforce. 0 degrees. Look at this new moon. It's going to square Uranus. It's going to make a yacht to Pluto and Neptune and Saturn as well. This is going to be a difficult new moon, guys. I think a lot of people are going to protest in the workspace, of course, auto industry, so vehicles, everything in regards to service, healthcare, also in regards to airplanes, like the airport. People are going to be having a strike at the airport. We're going to see all the reoccurring themes that happened in March. They're going to pop up again with this. So just be ready, because they're going to try to implement AI into the school systems. And then maybe in September, because this is the end of August, beginning of September is a new year, a new school year. Tutors are maybe going to protest or are going to revolt against being replaced by AI tutors. And I think we're going to see massive protests and rebellion against that. So it's like, it is gonna like For on a personal level, where do you need to clean up? Where do you need to recommit? Where do you need to take personal responsibility for your health, for your habits, and for your service towards others? I think we're going to see a massive shift in our 9 to 5 job. Virgo rules the workforce. Many will experience this period as a big turning point in their career direction, and their health priorities, and their job duties, and in their 9 to 5 schedules. So yeah, I'm gonna talk more about that later. And hi Inge, hi Katie, and Arno says, I saw it, Astrid. I hope you get well fast and that the stars may align for that. Yellow fluoride crystal can help you with tea. Definitely try CBD cold pressed in the purest form, in a pH negative form. Okay, thank you so much, Arno, for adding that. I'm going to add that to all the rest that I've tried, to all the other things I've tried in the last 2-3 months. Hopefully something gets fixed now. But I feel with the antibiotics, I'm sweating, it's swelling. It's like it's getting hopefully finally out of me. So with that being said, let's return. And of course, after a day after the new moon, we're going to see Sun square Uranus. So yeah, big surprises are in store for us. Surprises with technology, AI breaking down, system failures, breakdowns. Because I also think that they're going to try to implement new systems of AI, but with the square and the yacht of the new moon in Virgo, I think a lot of things will be breaking down. And I think there will always also be a wake-up call that it's maybe too soon to implement all these systems right now, that there's like a lot of faults that need to be like rewired, rebooted, and that it's maybe too soon to really replace people. I think that that is a positive side of this new moon. Just know that Uranus rules over electricity, lightning, tectonic plates, earthquakes, and it's going to bring massive sudden disruptions. Then a day after that, on August the 25th, we're going to see Venus entering the sign of Leo. So the heart reclaims center stage. Venus is going to leave the sensitive, nurturing sign of Cancer and is going to blaze into the fiery Leo sign. It's about personal confidence, romantic passion, and also an apologetic self-expression. Venus in Leo really wants to bring a vibrant, theatrical energy, and she insists that we lead with our hearts. So can be about a dramatic flair, grand displays of affection, and it's our time to reclaim joy, creativity, and also take pride in who we are, especially after the Mercury retrograde in the sign of Leo. Whenever Venus jumps into that, we can fully reconnect to these old passions that got revised or taken off the shelf during the Mercury retrograde in Leo. So yeah, it's gonna be good to have that after a month filled with all these heavy Saturnian and Neptunian energies, and Virgo wanting to like clean up our slate, and then Venus and Leo finally reminds us why we bother and why we do all of these things, and Venus is going to soften a little bit of all the pressure. So that is good news. So on August the 28th, we're going to see Uranus sextile Neptune. And this is going to be the first exact sextile between Uranus and Neptune since their historic triple conjunctions in 1993. So because they are slow-moving planets, it takes a while to get into a sextile. So Uranus is innovation, technology, revolution. Neptune is spirituality, dreams, and also the collective ideals. And the sextile really invites a fresh activation of this transformation that these two planets are about to bring us. But however, Saturn is also co-present with Neptune at this time, and Saturn will be positioned at the critical 0 degrees of Aries, which is the world axis. So this surge of visionary, collective, Neptunian, Uranian energy is going to be tempered by a lot of realism, by a lot of disillusionment, and also it's going to demand for grounded responsibility. So with Neptune, with Saturn and Neptune together in the mix, it's going to play out a little bit differently, and it can even be more refrained, the innovative energies of Uranus. But if we look back at 1993, we can look at the echoes at what happened then, because what happened at the conjunction, that is when the seed got planted. Now with the sextile, the same themes might get reawakened. So if we look at 1993, there were a lot of peace and global agreements, and it might be a little bit weird for me saying that right now, and it might seem impossible, but still I'm like hoping for the best, because there was an arms treaty that got signed between the US and Russia in 1993, and that was like the last gasp of the Cold War diplomacy. And what also happened in 1993 was the Maastricht Treaty, so the forming of the European Union that got signed during that time. So I hope that these events point to the possibility that the sextile might bring some kind of new efforts at global cooperation, despite the current geopolitical climate that we're seeing right now. But we need to remember that Saturn is trying to reframe all of that. So I think it's going to take a little bit more time. So definitely, I think changes to the EU, and just know that the sextile is going to play out over 2 years, so until 2027. So this is now the first exact hit, but we're going to see 2 more hits of that. Maybe I'm going to make a whole different video on that as well. Another important part about 1993 was the birth of the World Wide Web. So global connectivity. The beginning of a new digital age. So that's very clearly that what we're witnessing right now as well, with AI displacing even our search engines as well. And another theme back in the day was, in 1993, they got to recover and translate a lot of ancient astrological texts. So I guess AI is now going to be massively accelerating this process, because it's being able to enable automatic translation of astrological and esoteric texts over the entire globe. So I think we're going to see some hidden knowledge that resurfaces during this time as well. It was also a very big time for UFO disclosure. I think also psychedelics and other things, all of these themes are going to resurface again. So with that being said, and Mem Jack says, is it because of the other planets moving so slow that it feels like everything is taking so much longer? Yeah, it's like, it's so contradictory, because on one hand, we have Uranus in Gemini, and I feel like days are flying by so fast. But then on the other hand, the outer planets do move very slowly. So it's like it takes a long time until the foundational basis of the collective consciousness gets like an upgrade. Like, it feels very contradictory. Other things, the days fly by so fast, and then nothing changes. So yeah, it's like weird energy. I think 2026 will be the time where we see a massive change, because then all of these slow moving planets are going to enter a new sign. So that will be very, very important. So with that being said, I'm going to start with the reading for the 12 signs. And because I'm not feeling my absolute best, I'm not going to, put too much energy in that, because I want to do other videos as well in the upcoming week, and I need to save some energy. So might be not as deep and long as you're used to from me. So we're gonna start with Aries rising, Aries sun, moon, or rising. You're gonna have a full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th, and it's gonna happen in your 11th house. So the 11th house, it is about your friendships, about your community. It's also about your future visions. So it's the house of networks, and the fact that it's full moon is always some kind of disclosure, some kind of culmination, some revelation. In the 11th house could be about having a fallout with a friend, because honestly, as an Aries, you have both Mars, your ruler, your chart ruler, definitely if you're Aries, Sun or Rising, and it's gonna make an opposition to Saturn in your sign. So you're gonna butt heads with something, with someone, with maybe someone on the internet. The 11th house, where the full moon is happening, does mean the internet, social media, and the Mars Saturn opposition means that you're gonna butt heads with someone. Mars in the seventh, your chart ruler is on the move. It enters the seventh house. The seventh house is marriage, but also business partnership and very close one-on-one relationships. So some people could act a little bit aggressive towards you, and Saturn and Mars in an opposition, that can feel quite draining, to be honest. So be careful about what you say on social media. Some social media project could be culminated as well. And it's also, it's really re-evaluating who you are actually aligned with, and also where you're headed collectively or with your community. So some group project might see a completion, but there might also be some hidden tensions getting revealed, and then you might even get surprised by some friend, to be honest. Can also be unexpected shocks and news through digital platforms, through social media, and also it's actually time to liberate yourself from these outdated communities and goals and groups and friends that don't actually reflect your future. So just know that you might be caught between the need for connection and the identity that is involving with Saturn and Neptune in your sign. So relationships might actually even feel demanding, draining, confusing, a bit frustrating as well. And you're actually craving harmony, but you might need to confront deep fatigue that is connected to boundary issues in relationships, in friendships, but very close friendships. So redefine what balance means for you in relationships. Stop on over compromising, and also return and connect to your own energy, even if it means that you need to step back from others' expectations. And if others are pissed off, just give them time to cool off and protect your energy. Then, if we look at the new moon, that is, of course, going to happen in your sixth house. And sixth house rules over your health, your daily routine, and your service towards others. So good if you want to find a new job, but of course it squares Uranus, so there could even be some disruption in the workforce for sure. Mercury is going to go direct in your fifth house. So some expression, some new creative expression might even land you a new job very suddenly out of the blue. And I forgot to mention for the full moon that, of course, you're going to have the Jupiter-Venus conjunction in your fourth house. So that is actually very, very beneficial in the middle of the month to buy a house, sell a house, reconnect with family. Family members might have a very pleasant surprise for you, can even be connected to money inside of the home, working from home, can all be very, very beneficial for you guys. So if you look to renovate, to even grow and expand the family, that might all happen as well. So then also know that the sixth house is the house of stress. It is the house of health. And you need to make like a clean slate when it comes to your habits, because with the square to Uranus, there could also be sudden health issues being manifested, especially if you've been too stressed, especially if all the recent chaos has actually left you feel scattered or burnt out. Be very, very careful because there are eclipses happening in Virgo and Pisces the entire year. So the cycle has already stirred up some issues in your body, in your job, in your mental health. So the new moon is now going to help you respond with more practical wisdom. So use this time to streamline your schedule, maybe make some better decisions in regards to your health. Something in your health can be eliminated. Also work to what aligns with your values and your skill sets, and create something new in that, or plant new seeds in that. And also know that small changes now will ripple out in very powerful ways by the end of the fall for the northern hemisphere for you guys. So just know this is the first new moon. In September, we're gonna see a solar eclipse also in Virgo. So big emphasis on your job and on your health and mental well-being. So take it easy and avoid burnout. And if you want to make a big announcement through social media in the month of August, be very careful about ruffling some feathers. And if someone attacks you online, just let them be. Don't engage with that. Okay, then we have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What's up, Taurus? You are gonna have a full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th in the 10th house of career, your reputation, your public life. Could be a very big pivotal change in your career. Could be in how you view your father. Something might shift in that. 10th house is also about your own business, so some big project can be completed in that if you are working on something. But very powerful revelation and culmination in your public image, also in your life direction. Some are gonna have a promotion, some are gonna have an unexpected shift in how you are being perceived. And Uranus is the ruler of the full moon, and I forgot to mention that for Aries, but with Uranus in the second house, it's about your values, your finances, and also your self-worth that are actually very rapidly evolving. So it's about transformation in the work area. You may actually no longer tolerate certain leadership roles or certain responsibilities that feel out of alignment with your integrity. You can put that in the bin during this time. So yeah, the full moon is going to push you to actually break free from outdated professional labels and actually pursue a more innovative or authentic path to success. So major career change, resignation, a shift of industry, unexpected public recognition, or like a financial turning point that is linked to your career, or maybe even entrepreneurship. Then Mars and Saturn opposition are happening in your 6th and your 12th house, so you need to be extra careful for your health, physical health, 6th house and 12th house, mental health. Mars in the 6th can point to burnout. A lot of energy is directed into the 6th house of job and your duties at work, but that can lead to over productivity, and that can lead to burnout. Saturn and Neptune in the 12th house can be about unconscious patterns from the past that were blocking you in regards to career, that can be exposed. Maybe some hidden enemies in regards to your career, can be a colleague, but there is a beautiful trine from Mars to Pluto in the 10th house, from the 6th to the 10th, two work houses. So with the full moon illuminating that, there can actually be, and the ruler in the 2nd house of money, there can be a very sudden, unexpected new opportunity to make an income. So looks pretty awesome for the career area. Just be mindful to not overextend yourself, because otherwise with Saturn in the 12th, that might have negative implications on your health. So then, of course, you have the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in the 3rd house. Can be about siblings, neighbors. 3rd house is about communicating. Can be can have very sweet, loving, abundant communication, or an important conversation with your neighbor, with your sibling, with someone in your immediate environment that can prove to be of big luck to you. If you're blogging, writing, podcasting, something very beneficial energy for you guys. So yeah, make good use of that. If we then look at the new moon is happening in the 5th house, and the 5th house is the house of fun, joy, creativity, being happy. Of course, it's in Virgo, so it's more structured and more analytical. You're happy, how you how you receive or experience joy. So the fifth house, of course, is about creativity, about passion, pleasure, your kids, also romance. So Tauruses on the new moon can actually really manifest a new relationship in the month of August. So yeah, if someone really pops up out of nowhere, because of course this one is squaring Uranus, yeah, take good notice of that. Someone might actually really enter your life during this time, very out of the blue. And also know that it's actually offering a very potent reset for how you express joy, how you express your originality. So it's actually a moment to reclaim your inner artist, your inner child, do some fun things with your lover, and also reconnect to someone romantically, and together you can redefine what fun looks like. So yeah, if you've been too focused on responsibilities, it is now time to return to play, to love, to personal fulfillment. Also know that yeah, your vitality is a resource, and when you honor what actually lights you up, then everything else flows more naturally, and you're really gonna notice that during this time. Mercury has been going direct in your fourth house, so there's forward momentum in communication with family, with your roommate, with people that you live together, and that is creating a beautiful sextile to Mars in your sixth. So that is also very, very positive. So forward momentum can be an important conversation about a family member, probably a brother or a sibling, a brother or sister, some kind of sibling. So good luck, my dear Taurus. We have Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. The full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th is going to happen in your ninth house of beliefs, education, foreign distance, long distance travel, foreign cultures. It's also about yeah, religion, your guru, your publisher. If you want to do marketing, advertising, it's all in the ninth house. So something big can be completed in that area. And it's in Aquarius, so very, very good to make an announcement on social media, or to release something or make a big announcement. The ninth house is also higher learning. Some could really enter a new study, a new course, or they could also complete one, of course. So yeah, if you've been studying, planning a trip, something could now culminate in a very big moment of truth. So what do you really believe in? And also, how far are you willing to go for it? Because the ninth house is also about belief systems. And Uranus is now in your first house. It's about your identity and also your presence. They are all undergoing a very radical reinvention. So it can be very shocking insights or revelations, and that might lead to like a sudden collapse of an old worldview. It can also be an urgent need to break free from cultural, religious, and also academic structures that no longer resonate for you. So, your personal awakening is challenging the ideological frameworks that you once depended on. So, some of you are going to publish a controversial or visionary piece of writing. Others are going to leave behind a religious group, or some kind of institution or ideology. But just know that Mars is in your fifth house, so there's actually all the pleasure and there's a lot of action and desire being directed in the fifth house of fun, romance, children, and it's actually trining Pluto in the ninth house. So, but it is opposing Saturn and Neptune in the 11th. So, some friends are not going to agree with your renewed sense of self that you're currently going through, and you might even feel blocked expressing yourself fully, especially in groups. There can be fears of rejection, and there can also be some kind of disillusionment in social circles. So, what you love may not be approved by your friends or by your peers. So, Can also be issues with dating, with children. There can also be an ending in some friendship, an end in a group or an organization or a community. So yeah, reclaim your joy without needing validation, and then also let go of who you thought that you should be by now. Choose play over performance, and everything will go well. You have the beautiful Venus Jupiter conjunction in your second house. So definitely very, very striking for income, for money, abundance. Maybe some mindset shift is gonna be very, very it's gonna have a very positive effect on how you value yourself. The second house is also self-worth. So yeah, if you have a new stream of income, new ways of making income, increase in your own earnings is all possible, can be connected to overseas with Uranus in the ninth house, with full moon in Aquarius in the ninth house, and Uranus in your sign. So if there's a new opportunity for making money connected to long distance travel or foreign cultures, take it with both hands. Or something online can also even happen. So good luck, Gemini. Ah, yeah, we have the new moon as well. Oh my god, this Mercury retrograde is hitting me hard. So the new moon for you, my guys, Gemini, is gonna happen in your fourth house of home, family, emotional roots. It's at 0 degrees. It's a very big, new, fresh start in your home life, in your living space, also in your relationship to your roots, your origins, very deep internal moment. Also reset the foundation on which everything else is like it resets the foundation on which everything else is built in your life. It's it's on the top, and it's beneath in your chart. This Mercury retrograde. Oh my god! And I think it's the antibiotics as well. My brain, it's like fried today. My god. So think about ancestral healing, moving a house, renovating, establishing stronger emotional boundaries with family. Yeah, this is going to give you clarity and discernment about all these themes that I've just mentioned. So, very powerful time to clear out your literal or emotional home, create space for stability and peace, and also a grounded inner world will really help you to navigate the outer shifts that are still to come with Uranus in your sign. And like I forgot to mention, if we go back, this one here is going to be very important for you guys, because the full moon in Aquarius for you Geminis is going to make a trine to you, and the ruler of that moon is in your sign. So Uranus being the ruler of this full moon, you're going to have a massive surprise, a massive awakening, and a whole identity shift, and it can become rather unexpected. So be mindful of that. And then with the new moon here, someone can come live in with you, someone can move out. It's like a whole fresh new start in your home. So it can also be a new renovation project, actually even buying a new home, but something big is going to shift for you guys in August for sure. Then we have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are going to have the full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th in your 8th house. So yeah, this is very, very deep, very emotional. It's about entanglements, about trust, about psychological transformation. So there's going to be some kind of big revelation about shared finances, taxes, debts, maybe inheritance. It can also be about hidden dynamics that are getting exposed in your closest bonds. Something that was suppressed, whether that's emotional or financial, is going to surface and come up and also demand to be addressed. And of course, with the ruler, Uranus now in your 12th sign, it's about unconscious patterns, it's about spiritual unrest. All this disruption, because the 8th is about fear and the ruler is in the 12th, it can be about spiritual unrest, and all of this may be disrupting your inner peace. You're going to be triggered by memories, by secrets, by invisible fears, and it's about overcoming them and rewiring the subconscious. Yeah, this full moon is going to offer you a chance to cut cords with the past, to let go of self-sabotaging behavior, get over codependency, and especially those that are actually quietly draining your energy behind the scenes, and even hidden enemies can all come up as well. So possibility of this can be a financial matter that comes up, something in regards to taxes or shared debt, or maybe a partner is going to reveal a financial or emotional secret. Or maybe you're also going to realize that you're holding on to trauma or shame that's actually no longer yours to carry. So there can be sudden insights in your dreams during therapy. If you do a spiritual practice, that is going to help you ground all of this revelation energy that is about to get triggered. So you're also going to see a shift in how you manage power, and also about trust in your relationships. So actually let go of what you can't control and also reclaim what you can. The Uranian influence in the 12th, it's about confronting what's hidden. It's the unconscious. It can be karmically very heavy. So very heavy. So yeah, healing and freedom, they also come when you stop spiritualizing the suffering, and actually start setting psychic and emotional boundaries. Transformation, it is possible, but only if you're actually willing to be radically honest with yourself. We then see Mars in the 4th house can definitely be some frustration with family members. It's making an opposition to Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house. So you can feel a little bit torn between your inner world, your public image. Career goals might be a little bit hazy, can feel blocking. And maybe you want to put attention in your career area, but family issues are going to demand attention. So it's actually hard to feel anchored anywhere in right now. So family situation is going to demand action. Can be a move, can be about the confrontation, can be about boundary setting. You're also possibly facing some disillusionment in your career. Can be about an authority figure that might disappoint you, or maybe you realize that certain goals are no longer aligned. Can also be about home repairs, conflicts with parents, conflicts with children, and feeling like you're actually carrying everything and everyone alone on your shoulders. So yeah, honor your emotional needs before chasing external success during this time, and also anchor into what matters in a private way. And that's going to be important. Of course, you're very lucky because you're going to have the beautiful Venus Jupiter conjunction in your sign. So a lot of all the negative things that I just mentioned is going to be lessened by this beautiful benefic configuration that we're seeing in the sky. Yeah, go to the hairdresser. Indulge, have fun, go out with friends, with a lover, spend some money on things on the finer things in life. Actually, you are allowed to indulge, but just don't overeat. That is possible with this, and I'm gonna do a whole other video on Venus Jupiter together in Cancer. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Whenever the two benefics come together in your sign, you can expect a lot of blessings, a lot of love, even financial blessings as well. Maybe a partner, because it's in the 8th, it's about shared things, the full moon. Maybe a partner has some secret of surprise that is actually beneficial for you, and makes you feel good, happy, or loved. That is very possible here for you. So yeah, this is gonna be the middle of August is gonna be very important. Because if you look at more the middle of August, then by then Mercury will go direct in your 2nd house. Can be forward momentum or important conversations about money as well, and that happens in to the middle of August. So this is a new moon for you guys, and the new moon is happening in Virgo in your third house, and it's actually bringing a fresh start in how you speak, how you think, how you learn, also how you connect with your surroundings. The third house is about siblings, about neighbors, about conversations. So very powerful time to actually refine how you speak, how you structure your schedule, and also some of you are going to begin to write or to learn something new. And also know that this lunation is going to ground you in practical thought and also in your daily interactions. So expect conversations with siblings, with neighbors, with colleagues, and they all might carry more weight now. So really use this reset to actually establish clarity and also speak with precision, and also know that your words now can shape your reality in ways that ripple far beyond this current moment. So with Mercury Direct sextiling Mars in the fourth house, there could be some positive news in regarding to home, to income, to even working from home. Turn the frustration of Mars in your fourth home, switch it to being proactive in the home, and really cleaning out, decluttering can also be very, very beneficial for you guys. Maybe you're going to feel a ton of energy because Mars is going to square Jupiter in your sign. So all very, very powerful. Even if it's a square, Jupiter just enlarges everything what it touches. So if you do want to invest a lot of time and energy in your home, then Jupiter can blow it up. But if you have, for example, a fallout with a family member, or if there's some kind of fight in the family going on, then Jupiter can explode that as well. So it all depends on your natal chart. But good luck, my dear Cancer. And I'm gonna close my room, my window, because it's getting cold in my room. So now all of you guys saw my beautiful pajamas. Okay, so good luck, Cancer. And because staying as a Cancer, I'm gonna read it real quick. Astrid, you said you're going to take it easy on when we were doing the reading. Yes, while you're diving deep as you always do. And I've told when we had our reading together as well. I also told I was gonna take it easy, but as an Aries and a Virgo rising, taking it easy is not in my woordenboek. You understand it, Stain, so it's fine. Okay. Leo, sun, moon, or rising. You have a full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th in your seventh house of relationships. Can be about contracts, legal agreements, one-on-one relationships, very close friends. Can also be about business partnerships. So it's going to bring some revelation, some culmination, or emotional intensity in your one-on-one connections. Something can reach some kind of breaking point or some kind of breakthrough. There can also be clarity around where you actually stand with someone else, especially if the dynamic has felt a little bit of balance. Uranus is now into your 11th house. It's about community, long-term goals, future visions, but there's a disruptive undertone in that. Can be disruptive things going on in friendships, in group dynamics. Future plans could suddenly shift as well. So you need to reassess who actually truly supports your evolution. So because you have the full moon in the 7th and Uranus in the 11th, friends can turn into lovers and lovers can turn into friends. That can also happen here. But Leos this month are most likely to break up because they have a full moon in Aquarius in the 7th house. Full moons are about release, culmination. It's in your opposite sign. So it can be quite shockingly, quite unexpectedly. Can also be a sudden proposal, to be honest. It all depends on your personal chart, but there can also be some kind of renegotiation. Maybe one partner needs more freedom than the other. That can also be happening. But it can also be about the contract that ends and a new one unexpectedly begins. There can also be, you might feel a bit torn between personal commitments and your future dreams as well. But also your own personal values in regards to partnerships might also be an evolving, and authenticity now matters more than loyalty. So yeah, release outdated relationship dynamics. Also call in allies who really reflect your future, not your past. The 11th is a house of revolutionizing your social sphere. So the full moon really reveals where partnerships support or restrict that growth. So let go of should I in relationships and really trust the universe to send connections that are going to be better aligned with your soul next chapter. So there is, of course, an opposition between Mars and Saturn, and that's happening in your third and your ninth house. There could be a conflict with a sibling, a neighbor, a classmate, or within your daily environment that can escalate. If you want to go travel, there can be delays or issues in that. Can also be if you need to write something, there can be a writer's block, an online conflict. Can also be a crisis in faith, or maybe a change in spirituality or in your educational path as well. So focus on clarity and truth in your speech. Also, don't force your beliefs onto others with Mars in the third. There can be a lot of feisty conflict in communication coming forth from that. Rebuild your worldview with nuance and not dogma. So if we then look at the new moon for my dear Leos, then that is going to happen in the second house of finances, self-worth, possession, stability, how you create your income. So it's going to offer you a clean and precise reset around money, around income, self-esteem. And also after these months of deeper spiritual and emotional shifts, then this new moon is going to really ground your focus on the practical side of your self-worth, on what you earn, on how you spend, how you value yourself. A very ideal time to really organize your finances, set new financial goals, saving goals, pursue a new source of income that really reflects your growing values. This is actually opening up a whole new chapter in your personal resource story. So think about, the small decisions now could take you to long-term financial and emotional security. So I forgot to highlight the Venus-Jupiter conjunction for you guys in the first half of August. That is going to happen in the 12th house. That was what was I'm trying to say. So Venus Jupiter in the 12th, it's about spiritual actually blessings and abundance through dreams, through spiritual guides, through synchronicities. Maybe book a retreat and get away from the madness. That would benefit you guys. And then during the new moon, Mercury goes direct, of course, in your sign. So very, very beneficial. I hope in the past few weeks you've looked at old passions and maybe revived some in something in that. And maybe you will continue to do a hobby that you like to do before. And maybe you are going to reignite some spark in that as well. And that could actually bring you money, because new moon in the second house with Mercury going direct in your sign, a good way to earn new money. And that can be by podcasting even, actually, or doing something on social media. Uranus is in the 11th and Mars is in the 3rd. By speaking, writing, communicating, you can create a new type of income for yourself. So good luck, Leo. Then we have Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have, of course, a full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th in your 6th house of health, well-being, your daily routine, daily structure. It's about labor. And it can be something can be revealed in regards to your health, in regards to your job duties. There can be imbalances in your daily work rhythms and your job dynamics. and your wellness practices as well, in your fitness routine. There can be a completion in your fitness routine. There can be a completion in trying to detox something for your health. I hope for me it's going to mean that I'm finally having a culmination in previous health issues. So that's what I was trying to say. Like, if you have been ongoing issues in health, then this full moon might signal a release. If you have been doing pretty fine with the Mars conjunct the South Node in your sign, then this full moon might illuminate some kind of health problem. Can happen both ways. So also know that it might bring you to a breaking point in your work schedule. If you've been overworking, then this can mean burnout, over functioning, a sudden realization about your physical limits. Maybe if you've been overextending yourself, and if you're caught in these perfectionistic loops, then the lunation is going to demand some kind of recalibration. Uranus is of course the ruler of this full moon, and it is in your 10th house of career and purpose and people in authority and even your parents. So yeah, there can be an evolving professional identity that is pushing you to rewrite the rules of your day-to-day life. So there can be a job or a co-working arrangement, some kind of service role that may end or shift direction. A health flare-up might also force something changing in your diet, and having to rest more. You might embrace different kinds of workflows. You might dive into a holistic practice, and there can also be a wake-up call that actually shows you how outdated systems are draining your vitality. So let go of routines that reinforce burnout and perfectionism. Your career path is changing. And also know that Mars is in an opposition to Saturn in your second and your eighth house. So there can be some issues with money coming up. Mars in the second house can be impulsive spending. Be careful about that. Can also mean being competitive about money. Saturn, Neptune in the eighth oppositioning Mars could mean that a partner is withdrawn their joint finances. Maybe you need to fend for yourself, or maybe you need to do it on your own. There can be some karmic blocks or karmic debts that need to be rebalanced as well. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction happens in your 11th house of friendship. If you're trying to go viral on social media, that can happen. If you want to join a new community, a lot of love and happiness through friendships. You can even meet love through a friend as well. So that is very, very beneficial. But overall, pretty quiet month. Focus on rest, on your habits, on your dietary style. With Mercury retrograde in the 12th house, you might need to reevaluate and reprioritize some rest. If you don't look at the new moon, and this is, it's in your sign, so very, very emotional. It's at 0 degrees. It's very, very potent. It's in your first house. So, there can be, you need to be very honest about how you are doing currently. Because if you go back to the full moon, then with the Mars Saturn opposition in the second and the eighth, this is about shared resources, intimacy, and it's a rather sensitive axis. So there can be stress about money. There can be inheritance issues as well, shared money problems, issues of betrayal, or maybe some unequal power dynamics in relationships as well. And there can also be fears coming up about intimacy, about being seen financially, emotionally, and you can start to question what you truly value. So, and the fact that you're going to have a new moon in your own sign can make all of this quite emotional, to be honest. So don't overspend with Mars in the second. And also know with this new moon in your own sign, you're actually initiating a whole new chapter of self-expression, your embodiment, your personal power. So yeah, shed old versions of yourself, especially those that are defined by duty, perfectionism, fear, or these outdated roles in service towards others. So just know that this is the first moon of the two new moons that we're about to see in Virgo. Gonna have an eclipse at 29 degrees in September. So also know that this is a whole reinvention of the self. And this new moon, it is not a solar eclipse, but this one is going to build up towards a lunar eclipse that's going to happen in the seventh house. There might be a destined release and partnership coming forth from that. So just a little heads up. That is going to be for next month. So next month, also very important, lunar eclipse in the seventh and a solar eclipse in your sign. Yeah, things are going to get feisty. I'm just telling you. So don't be too hard on yourself. Yeah, you're stepping into a complete redefinition of who you are and also how you show up in the world. So really use this moment to set intentions around your body, your health, your boundaries, and also your confidence. Also know that you don't need to fix everything overnight. Commit to becoming the most grounded version of yourselves. I know you guys are well at that. Good luck, my dear Virgos. Next month is going to be very, very important for you. We have Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have a full moon in Aquarius on August 9th in the fifth house of creativity, romance, joy. Very, very positive house for you. It's trining your sign as well. Mars is entering your sign. Maybe you're going to get a little bit pissed off, especially with others in regards to relationships, marriage. Might be butting heads with someone with a Mars-Saturn opposition for sure. The fifth house, the full moon in the fifth can be a sudden release of a long-term commitment because the fifth house is romance, and the fact that Saturn and Neptune are very close to a conjunction in your seventh house really points towards maybe you feel refrained, maybe you feel blocked by other people. Can be a very good friend, can be a marriage partner, can also be about a business collaborator. So yeah, maybe you're gonna explode with Mars in your sign. It's because you keep peace too long. Your people-pleasing behavior can now really come to a head, and you can really explode during this time. So be mindful about that. The ruler of this full moon, Uranus, is now in your ninth house, and it's actually fully reshaping your worldview. It's challenging you to unlearn all dogmas and step into a more liberated, authentic philosophy and look on the future for yourself. So also know that the inner revolution is directly influencing how bold you show up in love and creativity as well. So with all of that being tied together, a romantic relationship can hit a big turning point, might be dissolving. But also, if you want to market something, publish, advertise with Uranus in the ninth, you could actually launch a project, publish something important, release something to the world. And also, a good time for pregnancy if you want that, or manifesting a new relationship. So this one, let joy become your rebellion, and let go of resistance towards others, because maybe others are going to be a bit emotionally unavailable to you, and there's actually pressure now at the Mars Saturn to define yourselves outside of the who are we together. So can definitely be some conflict in relationship. Then if you look at the new moon, then that's happening in your 12th house. So maybe you might need to retreat, take a step back. Don't be too critical on yourself if you need some rest with Virgo in the 12th. Also, the 12th is the realm of dreams, endings, the unseen. A very potent reset in your subconscious life. And you need to rest, process, and also clear out energetic residue that no longer serves your mental or spiritual health, especially spiritual health. It's about cleansing, it's about detoxing, especially old programs that got stuck in the mind. So, Start by tending to your inner world and let the outer clarity will follow later on. During the full moon, my dear Libra, you're gonna have the Venus Jupiter conjunction in the 10th house, very, very beneficial for career, social status, your leadership role in the world, being into the public, with Mercury going direct in your 11th house in the middle of the month. You can have forward momentum in regards to friendships, and communication will go way smoother with them as well. So good luck, my dear Libra. Then we have Scorpio. We have a full moon in Aquarius on August the 9th in your 4th house. So, yeah, big revelations, emotional revelations in regards to family, especially with Pluto also on the IC, Mercury on the MC. So, yeah, there are going to be some secrets revealed in regards to family. Maybe you want to move, maybe someone is moving out of your house, maybe it's a roommate, maybe it's a partner, but it's about your emotional security, and it's also bringing a resolution to matters involving your living space. In regards to family dynamics, can also be about ancestral healing. So release outdated emotional patterns, confront also hidden tensions from your past. Uranus has now entered your 8th house, so there can be Uranus is of course the ruler of this moon. So yeah, it's going to electrify way deeper themes around trust, intimacy, shared power, making this lunation a potential breaking point in how you hold your emotional safety, especially in connecting with others. So something that you've buried could now demand to be seen and healed. So yeah, I think definitely a family secret or emotional truth that's going to come to light can be in regards of maybe an inheritance or a real estate of the family, restructure your home. You might need to confront a landlord. You might need to do some therapy or some shadow work. Yeah, and some financial issues involving loans, debt, taxes, and also, yeah, liberation. Yeah, if it comes from within, and if the changes that you're craving externally must start by like dissolving your inner fear and also the shame that is linked to past security issues. This full moon is going to help you in that. Of course, there is also a Mars Saturn opposition in your 12th and your 6th house. That is not adding to the fun as well. Yeah, break the invisible loop, whether it's a burnout, whether it's perfectionism, it's martyrdom, can be about old traumas or addiction, self-undoing behavior that are going to be coming up in order to get released. So yeah, it can be about fatigue, can be about a hidden illness that suddenly pops up and reveals itself, and that's why you're feeling a bit emotional. Can also about betrayal that comes to light and also forces you to slow down, and also maybe a desire to quit. So be mindful about escapist tendencies as well. So stay back to restore, and also know that boundaries are your medicine. Don't ignore the body. So you have a beautiful Venus Jupiter conjunction in your 9th house that is about publishing, marketing, advertising. If you want to do something in that, that is very beautiful energy. Also very nice to make a long distance trip, dive into religion even deeper, start a study that is going to gain you a lot of wisdom, metaphysical study, higher knowledge is all part of the 9th house as well. And if you want to publish or get a book deal, or an agent or some kind of people that help you, then this is very, very beneficial energy. Then the new moon for Scorpio is actually in the happening in the 11th house in Virgo on August the 23rd. So yeah, it's opening up a whole new chapter that is very, very potent in your friendships, long-term dreams, your community involvement as well. So yeah, after the emotional intensity of the Aquarius full moon, this is going to offer you to refocus on your social lives, align with soul-centered goals, also attract collaborators who share your values. Maybe you're going to refine a group project, or maybe join a mission-driven organization, or maybe, yeah, your place within the collective movements is going to shift. So, yeah, choose company, or like choose the company that you keep, and also the visions that you build with a lot of care. It's about constructing the future with people who really match your integrity and your purpose as well. Then Mercury is going to station direct in your 12th house, in your 10th house. So maybe you're going to have a beautiful message from your boss, someone in your career that has positive news for you, and it sextiles Mars in the 12th. So just know that in the beginning of the month with the full moon, Mars is going to enter into the 12th house. So you might deal with some insomnia, maybe some sleep patterns are going to get disruptive. But I guess whenever Mercury goes direct, it will be a bit better during the new moon. Just know you can also have some sleepless nights in regards to something that happens inside of your friendship, or in your friend group, or with a friendship as well. So good luck, my dear Scorpio. Then we have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are going to have the full moon in Aquarius happening in your 3rd house. So that's going to happen on August the 23rd. August the 9th. I don't know if I have mentioned. So yeah, it's revealing these new insights, or bringing closure in matters involving speaking, writing, mindset, contracts, local environment. Can be about neighbors, siblings. And also mental loop may reach some kind of resolution. And also if you are completing a writing project, then this is actually a moment of clarity. But it can also challenge you a little bit about your usual process, and also how you articulate the truth. Uranus is now moving into your 7th house, so that can definitely mean a sudden breakup with a partnership, or a lot of renewal in partnership as well. Change, innovation, freedom. So yeah, all of the relationships and collaborations are going to reflect back to you the narratives that you're still holding on to right now. So rethink how you engage and express yourself in close dynamics. So yeah, a writing project could gain traction online. Contract can end or reach a very big key milestone. Might have difficult but necessary conversation with a sibling or a neighbor. There can also be shocking surprises in communication, or messages that arrive that are going to shift your mindset in unexpected ways. And let your words evolve together with your relationship as well. Don't be afraid to like change your mind, or speak from a new truth. Communication is going to be liberation for you, and if you don't what you say or don't say now could shape an entirely new relational path. So make sure that you speak up and look at the truth. Then Mars, Saturn are in opposition between your 5th and your 11th house. There can be some conflict in friend groups, and you might feel blocked or refrained to fully express yourselves to a friend or within a group of friends. I see a beautiful Venus Jupiter conjunction in your 8th house. Can be positive news in regards to investments, shared finances. Maybe a partner gains more money suddenly and can share that with you as well. But with Jupiter in the 8th, money flies in but can fly out as fast as well. So be mindful about that. But very, very beautiful energy in the 8th house of investments and resources. So if you've gained a lot of profit on your investments, it might be good to take some out to maybe reinvest later on. So good luck. For the new moon, that is going to happen in Virgo at 0 degrees on August the 23rd, and it's going to happen at the top of your chart in the 10th house. So it's a fresh, new, potent cycle in your career and your public life. Powerful new beginning in how you're seen by the outside world, about what you're building, also what you're known for. Maybe you're going to start a new leadership role. You can also be rebranding your public identity. You can also be committing to higher standards of like excellence and productivity in the career. And it's also supporting long-term growth through grounded planning. That is the Virgo Pisces axis. I like the Virgo sign in the 10th house. So clarity and agency shape your reputation intentionally right now. So step forward with integrity. Your leadership is definitely being noticed. The ruler of this new moon is Mercury. Mercury goes direct in your 9th house. Maybe you're gonna have such a big shift in belief system or the mindset because of the Aquarius full moon before, that maybe something shifts in how you look at the future, and maybe you want to start a new career path based on your new beliefs. So that could be, but definitely forward momentum. If you have been traveling and you had some delays in travel, then you'll start noticing in the middle of the month that all these things will go smoother as well. So good luck, my dear Sag. We have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have a full moon in Aquarius in your 2nd house. So maybe you complete a very big project in regards to money. Be careful, a big bill can also enter without a warning. Maybe something you overlooked. Maybe you're going to lose some money. Maybe you're going to need to pay something unexpectedly. Can be quite shocking. Can also be a bill in regards to your health, because Uranus is the ruler of this full moon and it's in the 6th house. So there are two possibilities. One, you have an unexpected bill in regards to your health that needs to get fixed in some kind of way, and maybe you need to spend more money on your health regimen. Or two, you have been working on a very big project in regards to adding a new stream of income that you've maybe started 6 months ago during new moon in Aquarius, and now something is completed in that, and Uranus shocks up or innovates and makes changes in your daily environment, and which you can earn more money. We see a beautiful trine. There's an air trine. Mars enters your 10th house. All your desires, your action, your passion is getting injected in the 10th house of career. So definitely a good time to look at how you can innovate something in the career area. And also how you can earn some more money with your daily activities, what you're doing. And Mars in the 10th, there can be some frustration coming up with the father or with the mother, with one of your parents, for sure, because there's a Mars-Saturn opposition. So yeah, mother or the father or even both of them cannot agree with your new path that you want to walk. With the new path that you want to walk. So I also see that there's some friction between what needs to happen at home and all the responsibilities in your career. There can be some push and pull dynamic between having to take your responsibility in private matters and you wanting to direct or having to direct a lot of your energy into the career sphere. So you need to balance that out, and there can be some conflict, especially if you have a boss as well. But that boss can simply be your father that is saying that you need to take responsibility at home, but you want to walk a different path. I also see Venus and Jupiter conjunct in your 7th house of partnerships. That means that there is a very big heightened energy to attract a beautiful, perfect partner onto your path. And that is going to happen around the 12th of August. Jupiter in the 7th, if you're not happy, Jupiter can release you from responsibilities with a partner. I can see big structural foundations being reshaped with Saturn and Neptune at the bottom of the chart in the 4th house. Jupiter, Venus together in the 7th house. That can be blessings in regards to partnerships, especially marriage, attracting someone new if you're single, and if you meet someone, really grab them with both hands. Don't let them go. This is a blessing of the universe. It can also be a blessing in a new contract, and especially because there is a full moon in the 2nd house, and the 7th house rules contracts. Maybe you're going to be blessed by a new business partnership, which is going to increase your wealth, and that can come quite unexpectedly. If we then look At the new moon, then the new moon is happening for you guys in Virgo in the ninth house. And the ninth house rules your philosophy, your and also your it's going to offer you a very big fresh start in your worldview, in your spiritual beliefs, in your long-term vision. Maybe you're going to consider travel, teaching, something new. It can be actually a teaching opportunity that comes in as well, that's going to help you with your finances. Can be about an academic pursuit, but this lunation is going to open up the door to like structured exploration but with purpose. So think about your philosophy that's shifting: writing, publishing, advertising, marketing, landing a business, a book deal, a publishing deal can all happen with this house being affected. So yeah, restructure your life from the inside out, and it's also okay to redefine what success looks like, starting from home, especially with the full moon in Aquarius. Like, and what I forgot to add about the full moon here with the Mars Saturn opposition is that some of you guys might need to take care for a parent, might take care for your own emotional needs. But especially a parent, I think especially the father figure might need some help in the next few weeks, depending on how severe. It can also be about family conflict, about emotional exhaustion, and conflicts at home might become quite public with Mars here on the MC. So try to maybe contain that. And then with the new moon, Mercury is a ruler. It goes back direct in the eighth house. So I guess the last few weeks, especially since the July the 24th, you have been reconsidering how you should approach shared finances with other people, especially if you're married. And with Mercury retrograde through the eighth house, maybe something has shifted in that. Maybe you want to change something in regards to a shared contract. With emotional, spiritual, financial entanglements with other people, maybe something really came to the surface, and maybe you had time to rethink something about that. And with of course, with Venus, like if you've been married, if you are married, and we see here the Venus Jupiter conjunction in the seventh house, you might meet someone new. Mercury retrograde in the eighth, thinking about how are we handling our shared assets, and then new moon in Virgo conjunct 0 degrees, critical degree in the ninth house might also be about legal implications as well. Law, legality also falls in the ninth house. Mars in the 10th, opposite the fourth, tensions in family and job, public frustrations, people knowing about the fights. Squaring Jupiter in the 7th might be about conflict with a partner for sure. But Venus is going to soften a lot of its energy. So let me know what goes on for you guys. Yeah, I think I've mentioned everything. Good luck. Then Aquarius, you're gonna have a full moon in in your sign. This is your full moon. Oh my god, that was like a brain fart. So, Aquarius, full moon in your sign. This is like full moons are already very, very emotional. The fact that it's in your sign, you will feel electrified very, very much. So first sign is about your body, your personal personal presence. So it's the self, the body, your identity. You're actually undergoing a very big transformation that can be very emotional, can be visible, and deeply personal. So something about who you are or how you present yourself is going to reach a moment of truth and a big revelation. It can be a change in appearance, can also be a shift in how other people perceive you, or there can also be an internal realization that breaks through old armor that you've like tried to protect yourself. This illumination really reveals how far that you've come. So Uranus, the ruler of this full moon, is in your fifth house of fun. Some might bump into a new lover, have some eccentric desire for another, can be very unexpected, can come out of the blue. It's trining Pluto in your sign, full moon, Uranus in the fifth, unexpected pregnancy, Be careful if you don't want that. That can happen as well, because the sun is shining its light on the sun in the seventh house. Mercury is still retrograde. Maybe there is some miscommunications in relationships as well. So be mindful about that. Saturn is your traditional ruler, is in the third house. There can also be a conflict with a sibling, because there is an opposition between Mars and Saturn, between the ninth and the third house. Can be, yeah, you might feel restricted, refrained, or emotional due to a sibling, due to a neighbor. That can happen actually. And then you guys also have the Venus Jupiter conjunction, and it's happening in the sixth house. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the sixth house, yeah, it's not very beneficial. I think, yeah, I think the Venus Jupiter is gonna be not so wow for you guys as for other signs, because it happens in the house of daily activity, daily stress, daily routine. Maybe a coworker that's female can help you with some deadline that you need to catch. If you have been having health issues, then Venus, Jupiter together can really help you to fix that problem. If you have not, and be careful about overeating, overindulgence. If you're gonna binge eat because you're gonna be very emotional with the full moon in your sign, then that might give health problems as well. So be a bit mindful about that. So yeah, there can be a decision to move, to even break ties with a partner, with the Mercury retrograde as well. If a partner has been too dominant, too arrogant, then now might be the time to say, like, nope, not again, not continuing that story. Can be about rebranding yourself. An identity that reflects your true self can emerge. There can also be a release you might want to release the pressure to also conform or please others, and you can choose going your own path. So yeah, own your evolution without asking for permission. This lunation is actually giving you the permission to be seen, heard, and known for who you really are, not who you are conditioned to be. So yeah, with Mars Saturn opposition as well, you're actually seeking meaning, but you might feel blocked in how you express or understand it. There can be social media overwhelm. There can also be doubts about your path or your look on the future. That can also emerge right now. Also, be mindful if you travel. Mars in the ninth house can mean all your desire and your strength and your power is being like injected in the ninth house for long distance travel, but there can also be fights while you travel, especially if you travel with a partner right now. That might be a little bit emotional, but luckily it trines your sign. So just be mindful about feeling stuck in your local environment. Maybe you're gonna want to book a plane ticket to get out of here, and maybe, yeah, get away from each and everyone that's like bothering you during this time. So be careful about drama with a sibling, with a neighbor. There can also be some kind of disillusionment with religion, with a kind of mentor. And you might also decide to walk away from something that feels like narrow-minded. So yeah, seek wisdom, not just information. Focus on your voice and also trust the long-term vision that is getting rearranged right now. So I talked about Jupiter, Venus. Yes, okay. Then we have the new moon, and that is gonna ruffle some feathers in the eighth house. And the eighth house is actually a very, very deep house. It's about entanglements with other people. So yeah, if this one is also squaring your ruler, guys. It's squaring your ruler in the fifth. The eighth house is about shared finances. It's also, yeah, intimacy, energetic exchange, emotional healing. So very potent time to begin a new phase in financial planning and having resolution if you have some kind of shared debt as well. And there can also be an integration of a new psychological rewiring inside of your traumas that you've been dealing with. So yeah, if the past few months have been exposing some hidden fears or some unhealthy patterns, then this is the time to plant a new seed and start working on that on a way deeper level. Virgo brings precision to the 8th house, helping you to make sense of what's actually messy and vulnerable. So rebuild your energetic boundaries and also transform how you share powers with others, and plant seeds of deep, lasting healing, and the kind that actually begins in private, but that is going to reshape everything. The ruler of this new moon is Mercury, and Mercury goes direct in the 7th house. So there can be like forward momentum in communication with close friends, with your love, with a marriage partner. Can also be about business collaboration. So feeling forward momentum and like clarity and misunderstandings that are getting dissolved. So yeah. And then in September, Venus is about to enter the 7th house. So that is going to be more positive for you guys. Then you can like really, really enjoy the bond that you have revisited during all the chaos that Mercury retrograde brought you in relationships. So Venus is then going to jump into your 7th house and start to calm things down. So good luck, my dear Aquarius. We have Pisces Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have the full moon that's going to illuminate your 12th house of rest, sleep, dreams, withdrawal, wanting to retreat, be alone, recuperate. It's the most private and spiritual area of the chart. It's going to highlight unconscious patterns, can be also be about hidden grief, something from the past that needs some kind of emotional closure. It is also, trusting your spirit, guys, and the mystic synchronicities that you are being gifted by them. So it can be rather quiet for you, this one, even though it's an Aquarius, normally very, very loud, but it's a cycle that might be ending behind the scenes. Maybe something that you've been quietly holding or onto or avoiding might now need to be released. So it's a time for deep rest, for reflection, for also surrendering what no longer feeds your soul. Uranus is currently shaking up your 4th house of roots, emotions, family, where you live. So unexpected shifts in your foundations could also be feeding into the process. Emotional safety is actually changing, and it's actually prompting you to rewrite your definition of home, not just externally but within. The 4th house can shake up a lot of things in your stability, can shake a lot of things up in regards to mother and the parents as well. And it's in a square aspect to your sign. But luckily, it's trining Aquarius where the full moon is happening. So that is rather positive. Some family patterns from the past that might have been stuck in the subconscious might be released during this time. So meditate, do spiritual practices, rest, unwind, and a private decision or some emotional breakthrough is going to totally reshape your internal landscape. So let go right now. Trust the wisdom in your dreams and also tap into your intuition. It's going to guide you to deeper spiritual freedom. We then have a Mars-Saturn opposition, and for you that happens in financial houses. Saturn and Neptune are in the 2nd house, Mars is in the 8th house. Whenever Mars enters the 8th house, I'm gonna be honest, that is not a very fun time. I've just when I went through Mars in the 8th house, it stirs up a lot of old fears. It stirs up some frustration and how you share money with other people, but definitely about trauma from the past. You're going to face fears around security, dependence, and also self-value, how you, your own self-worth, how you maybe feel refrained and receiving money from others as well. Maybe that's going to create some frustration inside of yourself, and also financial debts might weigh very heavily right now. So try to clear debt. Those also Whenever Mars travels through the 8, be careful about giving too much money to your partner because they can lose it during this time. Mars tends to cut and sever and break things, cut things, and if you give money to someone, you might never see it return, getting it returned right now. So, yeah. Deep healing around trust, power, and vulnerability. So, but definitely secrets are gonna get exposed, and the hidden fear might resurface and might feel quite overwhelming. But it's actually it wants to confront you, and it's gonna give profound healing and spiritual insight. So let go of the survival-based attachments and the stories that keep you small. Liberate yourself right now, behind the scenes. And then if you look at the new moon is going to happen in the 7th house of relationships, marriage, also contracts, long-term commitments. So this is going to be a fresh start in your romantic, professional, or personal, even best friend kind of, also falls under the 7th house. So yeah, Virgo is about analyzing, clarity, honesty, and how you connect, collaborate, how you commit. So yeah, some themes from March, when we had an eclipse in Virgo, might get re-triggered during this time. If something happened, something important that is connected to March, what happened back then might resurface during this time. So the new moon really invites healing, also recalibration before like new eclipse in Virgo is going to hit in September. Then you might actually start or end a relationship, refine an existing one, deepen an existing one, establish firmer boundaries for mutual respect. That's going to be a big theme. So it's actually about choosing quality over fantasy, and also stepping into relationships that reflect your growth and that are actually grounded in self-worth. I forgot to mention for you guys, but during the full moon in Aquarius, Venus and Jupiter are gonna conjunct in your 5th house. 5th house of fun, relationships, love, hobbies, expression of the self. This is like the most beneficial house of this conjunction for you guys, and it's gonna make a trine. But I'm gonna make a whole different separate video on the Jupiter Venus conjunction. And yeah, for you guys, it's going to be very, very beneficial in regards to children, love, romance, dating, flirting. You might have the date of your life with this configuration here. Then for the new moon in Virgo, the ruler of that is Mercury, and Mercury is going to go direct on the 11th of August in your 6th house. 6th house might be work, health, daily routine. And with the new moon in Virgo in the 7th house, the 7th house can also be someone that helps you. So maybe you get positive news from a doctor, from someone that guides you, from a coach, from a mentor that helps you in regards to your health, in regards to your job, or even a colleague. A misunderstanding with a colleague can also get worked out, and you will gain forward momentum in your daily errands, in your daily activity, and like it's like the daily life starts to flow again more easily. So that looks very, very good for you, my Pisces. So I wish you good luck. Okay, guys, that was it for today. Thank you all so much for joining, and I will see you back for the Jupiter Venus conjunction, or the full moon in Aquarius, or maybe something else. I will let you know in time. Thank you all so much for joining, and yeah, I will see you back soon. Bye bye.